Hello and welcome, as it is the 6th day of June 2019. I have done two things to try to improve the settings of the sound, and it's not a really good clip-on mic. I've increased the quality on the settings a little bit. That was an easy fix, but that only improves things a bit. And right now I'm holding the microphone, so it should sound pretty good. I'm going to pause the video and clip it onto my shirt. Use this as a time to do my opening reference. All bets, trades of the like, well, that's within each's own risk and their own reward. Repause the tape, unclip it, and carry on within this video. Okay. Take a look at Bitcoin on the monthly, weekly, daily, and 4-hour. And I want to talk about the NBA and mathematics of sports books. I don't know how their mathematical formulas work, but mine show that theirs are completely off. And I want to talk about that at the end of this video. Within the monthly term time frame for Bitcoin, we have uptrend back in here. And I've drew these lines in here for a reason, because this was the high, this was the low. So this is your retracement zone from here to here. And you break a higher or low level support, well, then expect a decent leg lower. Probably back then you'd be saying, yep, it's going to 40, 30 bucks. But 40 we'll say. But if we break this resistance, I'd be looking at, okay, look at the size of this loop move. If we match it, we'd be looking to go to like 6,000. Obviously it did 3-4 times better than that. Well, same thing. Let's do it again. We break this support. We probably come back to this area where we came from, between 850, maybe 800 to 1,000, 11, 12. And if we break it to the upside, let's look at the length of this move again. What's somewhere around here, like 164, 152? Okay, there's some volatility for you. Where we stand within it, you go below the 18, you don't resist the lows or the highs. You're still barely above the highs, so you technically still could resist that. It might be choppy above and below, but until it goes below this low and this high, it's in retracement mode from this high to this low. Let's move on to the next timestamp, or the next time frame, weekly. We've had a little bit of price action over the last couple of days, but it's still well overextended, this 18. There's mathematically two areas where I want to see a big area hold. Ignoring what happened before the fall, I really want to see it hold in here. But including that, I want to see it hold this, which technically should coincide better within the 18. But the bottom line is it didn't find resistance where it was supposed to here, which is magnificent, because it's bullish and bearish to find resistance here, but it's not that bearish to not find resistance and go up to here. And in such, I will be looking at all sell-offs on this to be guilty until proven innocent, which means any moves to the 18. Well, we'll see how we do there, but I'll be liking the chances that support will come into that area, if, of course, there's a move coming down on this next play. When we look at this on the daily term, obviously within this, it's been in an up move since the April breakout. There has been a situation, not situations. There has been a situation in which the market settled down and went sideways. It was this, and that was it. It slowed down, but it didn't. 18 stayed rising here. Tremendous up move. So now it has barely started the 18 to decline, but I'm not going to count this as a declining average until it can break down below the support. And it is so far for 2 days held and stayed below the lows without breaking down. And for 2 days, it has yet to be able to hold and stay above the 18 average of lows, which could still happen. It could still, within the next little while, just spend some whatever amount of time in this whatever 7,000 area, and then recapture it back in here, and then, well, I'd be just saying, well, that's just holding and staying above the 18 lows, because it can go lower But is it going to further any of those losses that it makes? Right now, the answer is no. But even if it does, as we've seen on the more shorter term, I'm going to be looking for the area that I was thinking originally would be resistance. Wasn't. And when it wasn't, well, now I'm going to be looking for that area for support. There was left off support here. Now, if there's going to be any comeback support in here, again, I'll be liking the chances that it would do just that. And we'll finish this off within the 4-hour term time frame, which from this down move here, failed breakout, decent move, had a good rally, and then the breakout attempt here failed. This was the bigger move. 2 reds down, a bit sideways, followed by the third red move, and has been consolidating within it, a little volatile with these up and down moves, and has yet to manage to even get this to flatten out, because it's been a few extended periods in here. But when you have a red candle down like there, that's definitely not flattening it out. It's holding above the 18, but lots of cautionary signs that the point level here to the point level here is breaking through. You see weakness amongst this. You start to see it leaving in here. Probably going to have that move probably to the into the 6,000s if that's the case. But until then, as long as it holds this level, even if it goes below it, then it's only cautionary to do that. And with all of this resistance established up here, just like I said on the intro, you build up a little range. Until it goes in this, it's just whatever, yada, yada, yada stuff. But breaking this, fast move probably up to here. Breaking this, probably going down to 6,300. Now let's talk NBA, but more importantly, let's talk mathematics. I'm a Raptors fan, but I'm going to be giving you everything on a pure mathematical level, doing the best that I can to understand probability odds, and I got the game 4-1 mathematically. There is no guessing. It is all mathematically right. But what I'm looking at here is mathematical odds on CloudBet, and that's pretty much close to the same everywhere else. Golden State minus 110 to win the series. Toronto Raptors minus 108. The Raptors lead 2-1. And amongst it, they're saying that we have to risk 11 to win 10 for Golden State. You have to risk 10.8 to win 10 on Toronto. So you have to be right 53-54% of the time to start noticing that you're going to be getting a profit for something like this. Now, if we just go to basketball here, click on NBA, we'll get the game 1 line. And although that's changed a little bit, it's still about the same. What I do is I take the money line, and what I would do is I would get an equilibrium number. You can see 223 and 195. Well, what's the number in the middle? Well, if I add 5 to 195, I subtract 5 to 223, I get 218, 200. And then I take a medium from there, that's 209. So that means they're telling me the Raptors are going to win 100 of 209 times. Now, it was 213 times when I calculated based on the earlier odds. Or 15 times, actually. So they were telling me it was 31.7% likely that the Raptors were going to win game number 4. Which means that, and it was plus 198, 228. So the odds have moved. People are betting on Toronto a bit. Or are they? It's yes, because it's went from 198 to 195. So the chances are even a little bit higher than that. But in game 1, Toronto was a 1-point favorite. Toronto was a 2.5 point favorite in game 2 when they were at home, which they were saying that Toronto was microscopically more likely to win those games, or that they are probably a little bit likely to win at home. Okay. You've already stated that it was 31.7% chance here, and it's a little higher for this, but it's, again, the math on this is just, wow, interesting. So it's 53% is too small of a number to say they're favored. It really doesn't matter when we look at what the other numbers I produced as it is anyway. Giving Toronto a 31.7% chance to win Game 4. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give them a chance, and even Game 6. So I'll just assume that they're about the same amount of underdog in Game 6. But in Toronto, which would be Games 5 and 7, that means they'd be a 53% chance. And what I did is I ran 10 million, not over. I ran exactly 10 million. Well, I ran 10 million simulations 2 or 3 times. But the one time, and they were both all same numbers-ish. But Toronto won 5.69 million of the series of the 10, which means 56.9% chance. Another way of saying this is, if Toronto's consistently got a 31.7% chance to win the road, 53% chance to win at home, and first to win 4, and Toronto's already up 2-1, then it's 56.9% chance. Playing around with the numbers a little bit, if I gave Toronto even a 47.5% chance of winning at home, then it was still 51.8% likely that they would win the series with the same 31.7 road odds. And if you give them a 45% chance to win at home with the same road odds, they're almost a 50% chance, which is where the big differential comes in. So if you give Toronto 38% chance road odds and a 56% chance to win at home, well, now it's about Toronto's almost got a 2/3 of a chance of winning the series. Again, doing one or 10 million simulations, they won 6.45 million of them. As what I did was I just quickly ran some code, and that's how I calculated it, just for something to do. But to get about even odds to bet on Toronto, and I talked about this after game 1, when Toronto was like plus 118 or something like that. Thinking, it's mathematically, these are just awesome odds. I don't know if it's the type of stuff that James Holzhauer would do. I don't know if he's betting or if he even needs to bet on the Toronto Raptors right now. James Holzhauer is the last great, and he's now past tense. Jeopardy champion, he lost on Monday against another phenomenal player in Emma. She is phenomenal, as she reminds me of James. She's damn smart. She's fast on the buzzer, and she knows how to make some bets on daily doubles. But she's not dominating as much over 3 shows as James' average was. However, finding advantages is what I like to do. And for you to tell me that Toronto is like barely got a worse chance of winning after doing the calculations, I got to think this is a smart long-term bet. Your risk, your reward. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.